Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figured Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here, and today we're going to be talking about our friend the Sega Dreamcast. Specifically, in this case, I've got the Japanese special model. I did a video on this rare variants version. It's very limited edition with the original owner's signature kind of molded into it. That's not the point of the video, but I just wanted to have one out here for the pretties. But no, specifically we're going to be talking about a brand new game for the Sega Dreamcast, well, relatively brand new. This actually came out a couple of months ago, but I didn't know about it, so my bad. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about a game called Reknum, Soul's Adventure. There's also Ploid, but I recently did a video on this, so you can check that out if you're curious. These are kind of a brother-sister deal. These two games came out essentially at the exact same time. So, before we talk about the details of Reknum, Soul's Adventure, if you guys could do me a favor, please like this video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done that before, as well as check out all the social media stuff in the description. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, Travel Channel, etc. I appreciate the support on all those platforms. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get into it. Right, so as I said, I did a video on Ploid already, so if you're curious about that, you can check that out. But the other game that came out around the exact same time, if not exactly the same day, was Reknum, Soul's Adventure. This game was made by Nape Games, the same company that made this one. They have two very specific things in common. They were originally NES titles. Ploid was released in 2021. Reknum was actually released in 2023. The story goes, from a development standpoint, that after the game was done, they used software by a buddy of mine named Alistair, who's a guy who lives out in Scotland. He basically came up with, he's done Dreamcast Indies, he's a friend of mine, I've met him multiple times now. Basically, he wrote software that makes it very easy to bring NES ROMs over to the Dreamcast, but not through like your standard ROM dump type of emulation. It's a little bit more sophisticated than that. Once they realized they could do that with this game and they were interested in the distribution, they were talking to Dan at Video Games New York, and full shout out to him because he sent this to me for free for the purpose of review, along with Ploid. And I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. But yeah, they were talking to him. Dan made a couple of suggestions on tweaks and things they could do. They did it, and then the game was produced. And thus we have Reknum, Soul's Adventure. So as I understand it, I haven't played it yet, but we will, it's basically like a Legend of Zelda type of clone game, so that's what we're going to take a look at and see, you know, what we think of it. As always, I'm going to go ahead and open it. As always, with these like more official type of releases, I should mention they're not actually official. Like, you know, the Sega Dreamcast, my favorite system of all time, it does still get new games. It's just that the games are not published or produced by Sega or other major third-party companies, developers, and publishers. They're made by indie studios. And so it's very cool that we still get these releases. This one, like all of them, is on a pressed disc. That is key. I always make that point. I'm like, well, anybody can like make a CDR and like produce their own home content. That's fine. Have fun with that. But what I like about these is these are actually sold at retail, essentially through Video Games New York. But again, key distinction, they are on pressed discs. The time and effort was taken to make a higher quality product in that regard, and I respect that. So inside you have the manual, which is a flippable art book. So we'll look at it from the way it was intended here. So inside it just has a bit about the prologue of the story. It mentions its characters, talking about starting your journey, the world of Reknum, the game's interface, dungeons and enemies, and how that works. Then it has just a bit about Nape Games and Video Games New York. Obviously I have not, we just opened it, you saw me do that, so I haven't played it at all yet. But beyond that, we also have the rear artwork as well as the disc, which again, I cannot stress enough. Press disc. Absolutely essential, but makes it great. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and pop it in and give it a shot. All right, we are rolling there. Of course, you can see the Nape Games logo, which oddly looks like an N64 logo. You can see, of course, this is the Dreamcast edition of the game and all that sort of stuff. So this one, I've cut around a lot of stuff because I had no choice, just to kind of keep the video within length. Because as you can see, it clearly plays a lot like, you know, the Legend of Zelda on NES, and that's kind of the whole point. But as you know, with the Legend of Zelda on NES, you just have a lot of going between screens, going backwards and forwards and everything. So for the sake of showing you the widest variety of locations, I will have gone out of my way to edit out a lot of backtracking just to kind of give you the Reader's Digest version of gameplay for this game, as it were. Yeah, so the first is just figuring out the basic mechanics with the sword and everything, making sure you know how attacks work. Right there, by the way, I should have turned to the left. That's, you know, when you're playing, that's where you should have gone. which I will eventually do. But you won't have to, you know, sit there and suffer through that while I eventually get there and just cut back and forth. Anyway, so as far as gameplay goes, if you like The Legend of Zelda, I think this is something you would be into. Because it's very similar in that regard, and the Dreamcast can always use another, you know, RPG like this. So yeah, I dug it. It's, you know, I just wanted to give you guys though just a sample of it. Like, as much as I like the Zelda games, I feel like there's something you have to like really spend a lot of time and, you know, get into. They're not really something, in my opinion, to just kind of show off samples of, but, you know, this is the job I was tasked with. So, but yeah, like Zelda, as you can see, there's areas that are locked off, so I gotta find the key, right? So, for example, that's why I said I should have turned left, so watch me, I'm gonna go back up, and then I'm skipping past all that stuff. There we go, I'm all the way back there to go get the key, and then I will turn around and cut past, you know, all this stuff to go right back to where I needed the key for. You get my point? So yeah, this is a lot of editing. It's not like the gameplay actually works this way. But that said, I also cut around some of the times I died and all that stuff. I'm not trying to hide that from you guys. I'm just trying to, again, show you guys the widest sample of different content within the game. So it is a very similar system where you just kind of have to go in, get the keys, find the locks, unlock them. There's different dungeons and all that kind of stuff. For those who saw the Ploid video, this is made by the same team that made that game. I would say between the two, this is the better game. The ladder's issue is not as bad as it was in Ploid, where I was just falling all the time for no apparent reason. So yeah, I feel like the team learned a lot from that first game, and they improved upon it in a lot of different ways. But yeah, like, I only made so much progress. I didn't end up beating this whole thing or anything. But again, that's not the point. I just wanted to show you guys a sample of what the gameplay is like in the event you want to check it out. And if you do, there will be a link in the description for you to be able to do that. But yeah, I think you already kind of know if you like this type of game or not. So really all else I can tell you is just a little bit of technical facts in case you missed it, or I forgot to say it, I honestly don't remember. So this game is region free, like all these Dreamcast indie games are. It doesn't matter, you can buy the Japanese version, American version, European version, it all works the same. Doesn't matter what system you get it on, it's just the same thing. It's just a cosmetic difference if there's different packaging, etc. The game supports VGA mode, which is how it's currently running. So you don't have to worry about any sort of incompatibilities in that regard. It'll work on your modern day HDMI setup if that's what you're using or whatever. But yeah, it's, you know, basically it runs solid. I also, you know, like any of these things, you can run it off disk, or if you want to, you know, archive it yourself, you can run it off of a mode or a GDMU or anything like that. But, you know, whatever. I like this little character, by the way. He reminded me of like a little Ringo Starr looking dude down there. That's just, I don't know why, that's just what came to my mind. Is it like little Ringo Starr trying to help you out with stuff? So these little, I don't know if you can see it. You see it in the bottom right corner. Or, well, now there's another one. That little, I don't know what that does. It's like a potion. I didn't get that far. Now here's the locked door. This is basically where I checked out, because after this point I went off trying to look for something and I just died. So whatever, I suck. But there, hopefully you guys got a sample of it. So if you want to check this out for yourself, I'll put a link in the description to Video Games New York and you can pick this up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you guys do me a favor, please like the video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done it before, as well as check out all the social media stuff in the description: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, Travel Channel, etc. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all later.